Okay, in this video, we got a 2018 Dodge Charger with an unresponsive or somewhat responsive touchscreen. Let's go inside. I'll show you how to replace it. Okay. So here's our touchscreen here. Like I said, somewhat unresponsive. We got a brand new touchscreen that I ordered on Amazon. It's a gel-free 8.4 Uconnect. They recommend gel-free. They say it lasts better in the environment. So we're gonna use that one. I could leave a link in the description to show you which one we're using here today. Good? Yep. All right, so here's the new one we got from Amazon here. Should just show you how it's packaged here. So this is the whole touch screen, not just the flat plate on the front. Yep. All right, what I got here, I got a nice pry kit that I also bought off Amazon. Now I bought cheaper pry kits before where they're all plastic and I've had them break on me. I just thought this time I'd buy a more reliable set here. I could also leave a link in the description for this if you're interested. Now what we're going to do, we need to get to this unit. You can see this part is over top of the unit. So we're going to have to get in here and pry it away. These vents are also a part of this. It's also going to come out, but the dash cluster glass here stays in there as well. So we're just going to remove this whole piece here. So we'll just start somewhere here. Get in there. I'm going to try to use a couple different pry tools there, and we're going to try to, there we go, just work our way around. Okay, let's work our way around here. There we go. Okay, so what we did, we just worked our way around. But this will clip in there like that. We'll just reinsert that. Then our other vent in here, same thing. Clip that back in. Okay, so we got all our vents back in. We'll just leave that aside for now. All right, now we got to look at this center unit. Okay, now we want to remove the whole unit here away from the dash. We have 4 screws here that hold it in. So what we'll use here is a Phillips screwdriver. We'll remove those screws and we'll pull that away. Then we got to work at the electrical connectors at the back. Try not to leave any screws or drop any screws down in the dash. All right, here we go. Got our all 4 screws out. We're going to lift this out and we're going to look at the connections in the back. All right. Okay, so probably what you want to do at this point, get your phone out, take a photo of all these connections and where they're connected in each port. Then you start removing them. Got a USB port here. These just kind of push the tab in. And pull it out. So we got pink, green, white, and a purple. All right, we got those disconnected. Now we got to work on this connector here. Okay, for this connector, you're going to push that and then pry it up like that and lift that out. All right, now that we have this whole unit removed, we're going to take this out of the car. We're going to replace our touchscreen. I'll see you over at the workbench. All right, here you can kind of see the damage on the old one, why that's not working well. Here's our brand new one. And you can see how we bolt together. We got our ribbon connector there. So what we're gonna do, work on removing our old one here. We'll put this aside. Flip this upside down. You can see we got 6 screws. What I'm gonna do is remove 5 of them. I like to keep a little bowl handy to put them in. Now, when it comes to the last one, I'm just going to crack it loose, just like that. Now, you can see this plate here covers over to the touch screen that we're replacing. We're going to be removing this, but while we remove this, we got to keep in mind there's a ground wire that connects this to the unit, so we don't want that to get damaged. You can also see we have these clips. So what we need to do is work on like 2 on each corner to kind of get this corner lifted, then work our way around to remove this piece right there. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pry up on the one. Then that's why I got a few screwdrivers here. Pry up on the other. Once I got one corner, I'll work my way around. There we go. You can see I got this all loose now. Again, working our way around. Got one more latch on this corner. All right, you can see we got this loose. And there's that wire I was talking about. And the reason why we kept that one bolt in there, so this didn't fall out at the same time. But now's the time we're going to remove that one screw. You can see every screw that we took out is the same length. So we shouldn't have any problems putting what screw where. Now we're going to remove the touchscreen part. There we are. Okay, now we're going to work on our ribbon connectors. You can see a little black strip there. What we're going to do, we're going to lift that. And of course, you see the ribbon comes right out. Now we're going to do the same thing on the other side for the other ribbon. We got this black connector here. We're going to lift that. Get a little more prying on that. There we are. And we're going to remove that ribbon there. All right, we got the old touchscreen removed. Now I suggest, I'll just move this aside for a sec. And of course, you saw that little clip come out while I was working on the radio. I could see we got a couple of these orange clips that came out when we pulled the radio unit out. We'll just keep that in mind when we reinstall it, and we'll put them where the clips are missing. You'll also note there's a little bit of glue or some gel in there in case you get the same thing. It's a little sticky. All right, so we'll line up our boards here. See, they look very similar. Here's a little tab where that one ribbon's going to connect. And of course, this ribbon's going to connect to the unit itself. Okay, you can see on the end of the ribbon, you got all the connectors. So we just need that to line up perfectly with our radio unit. So let's take our old one away. Now we'll work on the installation of our new one. We got our clip raised. What we're going to do, we're going to line up that ribbon. There's a little tab you can see right at the end of the ribbon, and that's going to line up. That's going to line up in the connector. It has a little cutout to accept the little tab on both sides of that ribbon. There, and just close it down to fasten it in place. Now I'm going to do the same thing with this connector to the unit. There we are. Now make sure that board's in place. Lower that down. Just going to wash the stickiness off my fingers while I bolt this down. Okay, so now we're going to hold that together. I just want to start that one screw again. Just kind of hold it in place. All right, that's just going to hold our touchscreen in place. Now, before I put this piece back on, there's a film on here to take off. I went and washed my hands. There we are. You don't want to get that piece back on and you forgot to take this off. All right, now we're going to put this back on. This should just clip in place. Just like that. We'll flip it back around. We'll finish installing our fastening bolts. Just go around, put them all, tighten them all in, and go back and tighten them up. Make sure they're all hitting the threads. Just in case the alignment's a little bit off, you want to make sure all these bolts are in before you start tightening them down. Okay, now we'll snug them all up. Now the fun part, we'll go back to the car, put this back in, give it a try.
Keep going.
All right, we got the unit back in the car here. Remember, we had these clips that were loose. Where they go is on, you'll see where some are missing off of here. I'm just going to take them out and reinstall them on the plastic housing. Just like that. All right, back to our radio. Do everything in reverse. We're going to reconnect everything here. We'll lay that down. Start with our last connector that we did. Push it in. Clip it down. Then we got these connectors. And we got our purple one. Whoops. Clip that in. The white one. Got our yellow, line with the yellow. We got our USB. Am I missing one? Yep. And we got our purple ones hiding back there. Okay, make sure all those are snugly in place. All right, now we're gonna bolt the unit back in with our 4 screws. Okay, and then we'll snug those up once all 4 are in. There. Now it's a matter of testing out the screen before we put the rest of the parts in here. Oh, there it is. Just the radio. Okay, Uconnect. Important, always obey traffic laws. Here we go. So if your screen looks different than what it did before, shut your car off again. The computer has to send the software up to the new touchscreen. So start your car again. Okay, now, like we said before, the old screen was unresponsive. So you can see it's responding to every touch I have. Go into settings, climate control. We're back. Now it's just a matter of putting our dash back together here. Let me shut this back off. So we're gonna put this back in, make sure our insulation here is not in our way when we're lining up those vents. So we'll probably go in and push that up like that. All right. So we're gonna have to try to line up those clips. Pretty much if you're gonna line up in the dash, you're gonna line up with those clips, and then we'll work our way around. Looks like we're back in business. Let's check it again. All right, another successful job. Got the touch screen back working. I'd like to thank my brother Sean for allowing me to do this to him and his wife's car here. And I also like to thank my brother Sean for the camera work. And we'll see you on the next one.